And then, just as like teenagers, we set up a band with another couple of mates just to make noise for the hell of it.
Originally to Bali on a bit of a gap year, a month away to be honest, when the band hit a bit of a blip after not getting a certain tour with a certain member of Justin Bieber. The reach and the thing you can get from your Instagram at the moment is much less than it used to be, so it's pretty much now an add-on. It's not really seen as like a big seller.
Yeah, that sort of turning point was just because we'd never actually put anything out before, really.
Everywhere in the Mediterranean's got one of our drones.
So you worked with a certain ITV reality show contestant, we might call.
The production manager found this girl, Lucy, off Love Island.
So yeah, don't try everything, but try everything is my advice.
Well, welcome to the first ever episode of the Take 5 podcast, where we talk all matters film, media, building brands, small businesses, social media marketing, etc, etc. Today we have Josh and Alex from Dream Beach Media, who are a leading international creative and production agency, having worked with brands such as Sky, Jet2, MTV, Lumix, Nestle, and many, many more, which I'm sure we'll hear about. Thank you for joining us today, guys. How are we doing?
Hey.
Oh, good.
Very good.
Incarcerated.
Excellent, mate. On this side of me, I have my co-host, Greg. Greg Norman is my housemate, incredibly good friend, and is being a gent by helping me out with this very first podcast, so we're lucky to have him here. For those that don't know me, my name is Max. This is just something I've wanted to do for a while, and we have some excellent guests to help us kick that off. We were originally going to have the luxury of a nice little studio set up. We were going to have you guys down to York in person. It was going to be great, multi-camera, everything was going to be top quality, but a certain global pandemic has prevented that. Greg and I are on lockdown together, hence why we're sat right next to each other. You guys, I think we were just discussing before we started, are living across the road from each other, but can't be in the same house. How is lockdown treating you?
Well, Alex, you've got a good story to start this podcast off, haven't you? About the toilet roll incident.
Yeah, Josh was just referring to a video that we made out of boredom maybe 2 days ago. Josh's family home had run out of loo roll, so we strapped a toilet roll to a Mavic Pro and flew it over the garden to his house.
Nice.
Just on a little camera.
We were chatting about that. We did wonder because we thought if you guys live 30 miles away from each other, how on earth did you manage that? But if you live across the road, then sorted.
I got eyes on the drone, so it wasn't going anywhere.
We're very lucky that. Yeah.
So let's get a bit of background, bit of context. I think I know potentially a little bit roughly about how this story might go, but how did you guys meet, and how did Dream Beach Media come to be?
Do you want to do the meeting part?
Do the whole back. You do
I'll
the
do the Dream Beach part. You do the meeting part, Alex. You do the you go for the early stages.
Okay.
I'll go for the Dream Beach.
Well, obviously, as you now know, me and Josh live really, really close to each other. So, like, I grew up in this same small village as kids, and that's how we kind of knew each other in the first instances. And then, just as like teenagers, we set up a band with another couple of mates just to make noise for the hell of it. And and that kind of we were very bored. And that escalated, and we actually became pretty serious as a band, as 5 of us. And to progress, we needed to make content and stuff for the band, because obviously we didn't want to pay anybody to do this kind of stuff, because it's pretty expensive when you get to like this certain level. So we were creating other content in-house so that we could save a lot of money, really, and that's where like the skill set sort of started. But yeah, and then following that, Josh, man.
Of course.
Lego. I guess obviously we could probably go into the band stuff I guess later on, but as the band progressed and went really well, we started doing some really big tours and supporting some incredible bands. Our love for the music definitely dipped because things were getting so serious and so contracted, and we always had our passion for video and photography in the background, but as it progressed, the band slowed down, and then our love just built up and up and up for this thing, which is obviously now our full-time job. And about a year before the band finished, we set up Dream Beach Media by going originally to Bali on a bit of a gap year, a month away, to be honest, when the band hit a bit of a blip after not getting a certain tour with a certain member of Justin Bieber, which was actually his purpose tour we didn't get, which we were meant to get, which was a big shame, and obviously broke all our hearts. But we went straight to Bali on a one-way flight, just myself and Alex, and we filmed a month around Bali, just dicking around, if I'm honest, having lots of fun, doing everything you could imagine on your first big holiday, capturing it all on a Lumix camera, and then put it together when we got back. And during that trip, we actually uploaded a kind of crazy photo, which I think I've got behind me. I've got loads of posters behind me, but it's that one. It's that one there.
Well, you can maybe take a picture of it afterwards, and we'll clip it in and we'll add it to the podcast.
There we go. Insert here.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah. There we go.
And that photo on Instagram, I think it was on Alex's Instagram, my Instagram, went to about 15,000 likes when originally we must have had like 1,000 followers at this time. And we tagged Lumix in the photo, and they saw it. And when we got back to England, they actually DM'd, I think it was me, and we both went down to their headquarters in Bracknell in London, and we were both signed up as their first ever travel ambassadors, which meant we were given equipment, a travel budget, and pretty much not free for all, but a lot of freedom in where we wanted to go to help promote their products and their equipment. So we'd put plans together every month of places we think are good to go to promote their new cameras, new lenses, and we'd create all the in-house content and all the online content for them. So that was our big break, if I'm honest. But that was still like 3 years ago now, something crazy. And since then, we've just built up this brand, which is now crazy enough, like an international creative and production agency, and we do digital campaigns for tourism boards, airlines, and so on.
Fascinating. So you touched on social media there, in the early days only having like 1,000 followers and things. I've checked out Instagrams. Now, obviously, individually, I think you've almost got 20k each, and then on the Dream Beach Media, there's another 20k on there as well. So it's 60k across Instagram reach. How do you go about even beginning to build that? Are all those followers interested in the type of content you're doing?
I mean,
how does
the
that
majority
work?
of our followers, especially individually, came about from music. We did the main sort of like peak in following, I guess, for us was during April 2018. We did a tour with the Vamps on their UK Arena tour, and that was just like we gained loads of followers there. So that's like the majority of our followers aren't actually in the travel industry. They're like music fans and stuff.
Yeah, which is.
But that's where we got very fortunate, because we would come off the stage from a show from one night, and it would go up like 3k, and we were doing like 15 dates.
And it was all super organic, and these people obviously were super heavily interested in you as individuals at that time, which is amazing because you get loads of posts up and then instantly they go to like 3,000-4,000 likes. You're like, that's incredible for like organic reach at the moment.
Your social media following is quite crucial to what you guys do as well, because I think we were having a look through the media pack that you'd sent us before the podcast.
Awesome.
And well, you can say it, Greg, but we were mentioning about how you were overachieving on views and targets.
Yeah, was it one of the targets I saw, was it 1.3 million and you hit 2.5 million?
I imagine that your following is quite imperative to delivering on targets like that, because obviously while it's 20k we're talking on Instagram, it starts somewhere, I assume.
I guess majority of our clients we work for, the sort of viewing and the deliverables we give them are all achieved usually through third-party accounts. So that one was probably the MTV social account, which is the account we use and work for a lot. So our personal following and our company Instagrams are very much like a second thing we offer to people when we've got the job, if that makes sense. So we'll be like, hey, we'll post X on this, because if I'm honest, the sort of the reach and the thing you can get from your Instagram at the moment is much less than it used to be. So it's pretty much now an add-on. It's not really seen as like a big seller.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. And what about in terms of other social media platforms, so Facebook and Twitter, in terms of the type of content that you guys are doing, even if it's being shared on third-party accounts, what is the most popular destination for doing that at the moment?
I'd say Facebook still. Just like, especially like sponsored ads, if these are like campaigns that are rolling out with budget behind them, the results you get back from Facebook are still way better than Instagram. As much as people like to say that they don't, I don't spend as much time on Facebook anymore. Like, there's still days when you find out you're like,
It's
you're
the type
like
of
3
people,
hours
isn't
into scrolling down
it's
this.
50-year-old mums and middle-aged women and things.
Yeah, people with more disposable income are always Facebook users, whereas Instagram and TikTok users are people who just want a quick fix of content, and they rarely swipe up and they rarely click through, if that makes sense. Whereas Facebook people or Facebook users are predominantly like our parents or grandparents who actually like click on it and read it. Whereas we don't want to read anything, do we? We just want to look at a pretty photo.
Yeah, the attention span's a lot longer.
Yeah, it's our generation, isn't it? So I guess taking it back, we were talking a little bit how you got started and the original trip to Bali. What was the vision at the start in comparison to now? Did you guys sit down after that, after you started working with Lumix maybe, and go, okay, do we turn this into something full-time? Do we make this a bit more real than it just being us messing about in Bali for a month? Now there might be a contract in place.
It was a big learning curve then for us. Obviously, the first trip we went out, when we went out, we weren't intending this to be anything like major. It was a holiday, and we just wanted to film it. We were ready to go back to work when we came home, and we did for a few months as well. But just because,
what did you guys do?
We both worked at a climbing center
at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
For that, at that time, it wasn't long. We didn't last long. We were working before. Well, as the band was progressing, we probably worked a little bit less because we had so much. We had no free time even to work. And then as the business progressed, obviously, we eventually quit any job we had.
But yeah, that sort of turning point was just because we'd never actually put anything out before, really. I mean, we were interested in photography and video, but we really like took our time with this one holiday video, I guess, if you like, and really put our heart into it, and that sort of feedback came right back, and people saw it, and word of mouth spread, and we had ended up with like small local jobs for PR companies and like B&Bs and things like that, and we were just like, oh right, people are willing to pay for this. We were like, oh great.
And how easy was it to scale in terms of to where you are now? I assume there's a lot more kit. I assume there's flights that are a lot more expensive and further afield, and projects
time
that are
consuming
bigger.
really. You
Yeah,
have to be
definitely. It's I always think it's the effort. The effort you put in is the thing you get out of it as well. We obviously pretty much spend every hour of every day either working on the company or the client work, or actually thinking about it and trying to be better at what we do. And that is not just like the production stuff we put out, but how we get work and how we connect with people and how efficient we can be by growing the company and also getting, I guess, bigger and better jobs. That's the goal in a way of just trying to scale that way. But as a company, I guess what we've been doing recently is we don't hire anyone full time, but we hire a lot of freelancers, and we also give them a lot of jobs around the world. So we can't always be we can never be in two places at one time. So we have teams around the world who work for us now, and that's our way of scaling at the moment. But hopefully in the future we can have a big office somewhere and have people.
I think our main sort of scaling that helped. Obviously, everyone has to start somewhere, and we were saying yes to every job possible because we were passionate and because we were excited to earn money doing that kind of thing. And but then it slowly when we got the bigger jobs, it was about sort of cutting off those smaller projects, weekend projects, smaller budgets, and using it's like saying no to them and using our time instead to pitch for bigger companies, and maybe you work half the amount of time, but the work is like maybe a month in a country instead, or and the budgets are better. That was the main learning.
So as you got bigger, could you start to pick projects and brands that fit your brand as well?
Exactly, yeah.
That would fit your Instagram.
That's something that never stops for us. Alongside, customers coming to us and making quotes for companies and things that we are. I mean, Josh is always like looking for work as well in brands that we desire to work with and think fit with like our brand. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
was-
I think
that
we definitely have a style, but we do try and adapt as much as we can to doing different demographics. But it obviously is. If any client looks at our Instagram page or our Vimeo, it's like, right, they have a thing where it's like quite high energy, quite bright, quite fun, and fast paced. So if we see a brand that we want to work with, we honestly we have sort of not tactics, but we have ways of getting to them and then getting a meeting with them and then trying our best to get the job.
Makes sense. In terms of the dynamic between the two of you, is one the creative and one the businessman? Is one a filmmaker and one is great at closing these deals and liaising with the companies, or do you both do a bit of everything?
I guess recently we've tried to merge as much as we can, but Alex has always been the sort of lead in anything creative, and I've always been the lead in anything business wise. Because that's just the way we've always been, and we find it super natural, and we don't ever need to argue because we're always doing something different. And then I look over Alex's shoulder when he needs a bit of help looking at some clips and finalizing an edit. He looks over my shoulder when I need a bit of help with an email or a new marketing lead or anything, and we help each other out. But yeah, Alex has always been the filmmaker and the creative, and I've always been the trying to close the deals.
Nice. And I guess as you say, you try and merge those things. You've both potentially become good at doing what the other is better at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we don't really cross paths so much. We have very much confidence in each other that, where I'm learning my skill, and Josh is honing on his as well all the time learning. It never ends.
A bit more of a maybe filmmaking sort of oriented question here. I'm a filmmaker myself, so that sort of side of things does really interest me to hear your answers. But it's a bizarre beast. I think we make different types of films, definitely. However, the concepts stay the same. So you'll always be on a shoot and something will go wrong. It doesn't go as you planned it, and I assume you're both nodding your heads. You've had that problem way too many times.
Many.
My question is there anything interesting that's either really gone wrong, that just wasn't thought through, or that's really, really buggered you over a little bit on a shoot?
Really gone wrong. It must have been something.
We've had technically wise, like camera stuff. We've had batteries freeze. We've had drones.
Oh god, we've done so many drones.
Things like that happen.
Expensive
We've done drones
mistakes.
in probably every sea. Everywhere in the Mediterranean's got one of our drones. Every country we've worked in's got part of our DJI collection.
Yeah, but how much are we talking when you lose a drone? What are we writing off financially there?
$1,500 usually, yeah. And there's a fair few of them gone, but honestly, like I think one of the biggest. What's the biggest mistake we've had? We learn, honestly, we do learn from our mistakes, even if it is through business and creative. We've had people work for us as talent who haven't really looked like we expect them to look.
One of the main things. Working with other influencers.
That was a big mistake, and
So
working with
influencers there, I
influencers
don't want
is
to.
tough.
You need to use the right words here, but you work with a lot of models and like Instagram models and people like that. Is that what you were referring to there, Josh? When maybe you had a creative brief in your head about the actors or models you were casting for the shoot, and then it's not so much that they look like their social media profile as they do in real life. Okay.
Exactly.
How do you get
don't.
about that?
Not all of them.
Do you do the shoot?
Nowadays, we've learned from it, but before we learned from this mistake, we never really FaceTimed. We never really dug deep into their background or asked any friends for like referrals. We just hired people who we thought were the perfect fit for the brand. So we hired someone with probably over 500k followers to come to LA with us 2 years ago for probably our biggest job to that date, which was a job from Vita Coco, and it didn't. Well, overall it didn't work out, and we learned from that mistake, and now we vet everyone, if that's through literally a FaceTime or asking their manager or their friends for literally referrals, and are they who they are, and honestly, I think that's how we've grown as a company as well, because we don't have colleagues, we have friends all over the world, and we hire them as friends, so we like work as a team. It's not really seen as like as a business project when you got your mates with you, does it? So it's a lot more organic and a lot more fun.
So I assume it works in your favour as well if the people that you're bringing on board, the models and the actors and such, do have that following themselves.
Yeah, it does help.
Definitely.
So I think I saw you worked with a certain ITV reality show contestant, we might call. I don't know if that is
You
the
can say
correct way
it,
to phrase it, but yeah. So how did that come about?
Yeah. So that was on our first job with MTV 2 years ago, and it was super last minute. I think MTV reached out with like, I don't know, we had 3 weeks until they wanted us to leave, and luckily we were free.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, so you two are perfect fit. They got us in, and we had a bit of an interview because we had to present as well as shoot, and it was kind of like a 2-man band kind of thing. But they needed some diversity in the last minute, so the production manager found this girl, Lucy, off Love Island, but she hadn't been on the TV show then. But it'd been 2 years ago.
I think she had like 5,000 followers.
Because she was perfect fit. The trip was working and traveling around Australia, including a lot of surfing and things like that. And so we were looking for girls that can surf in the UK, because they need to be UK based and sort of our age. And she was one of 3, I think, that he put forward. And
3,
fitted the part perfectly. So it ended up being us 3.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that was actually before she had gained, I guess, that following on social media. I assume she's got a few million followers now.
1.5, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
1.5. So it's a big leap. But I guess if you were working with her before, it wasn't purely because she had that following. It was because she fit the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. There was 3. I think there was 3 candidates, and then myself and Alex and the production manager decided on Lucy because of her surfing abilities and honestly just her amazing personality, and I thought it shone through the content, and it worked really well.
That's great. In terms of you guys as a brand, what's your unique selling point?
Go on, Josh. Sell it to me, Joshua.
We'll go to the.
Here we go. Drum roll, please. No, joking. I guess what we try and as Dream Beach, as myself and Alex and Dream Beach Media, what we try and have as our unique selling point is that we have like the experience of quite a high-end production company who would charge a lot of money, and we do have the assets under our wing of licensed drone pilots, like all these people, all the equipment you could ever imagine, but we do try and keep our price point around the 2-3 man band. So we pretty much, to any of the high-end production companies out there, we try and aspire and we try and produce at their quality with their storyboarding, with their animation packs and everything, but we do keep things under quite a small family-sized company. So we could be looking at productions of like, I don't know, crazy money with tourism boards, but we'd come in and we'd honestly go like, look, we can do this for half the budget, and we could also then we'll take that other half of the budget and we'll use that for the promotion side of things. So we won't take the full X thousand for production, we'll half it, we'll do it as good as these guys would do, but we'll also take that other half and we'll put it into distribution, and then we'll show you we can achieve the results which are double or overachieved, and which you've seen in the some of the packs, some of the MTV packs and other clients and things. And it's just a really nice way of doing it. And I think also it's us, like if you work with us, you see us from the start.
Sure.
We're the ones who'll go to the meeting. We're the ones who'll also be on set. We're the ones who'll be hiring people. We do it all without sounding cocky. We do everything, but we bring in people to help us. Absolutely. And you'll always get us in a way. So if they like to work with us and they like our work, they'll be working with us and not loads of other people or through a call center or whatever. however companies do it.
Leads into another question. I think it was one you had, wasn't it?
So as you guys grew and became more well known in the industry, did you notice any competition that was particularly big, and how did you compete and adapt to deal with that competition?
I mean, mainly, I think a lot of the time, because we kind of started so young, our competition is mainly quite a bit older than us, and obviously 80-90% of the campaigns that we do are for millennials, for 18 to 30s, and you know how we kind of set ourselves when it comes to pitching is that we are that demographic, you know, so we know what this audience are going to see. Like for the Australia Tourism Board job, for instance, it was for UK millennials to go and live in Australia. And if me and Josh hadn't has set up a media company when we did, like I would be the target audience for this. I would want to go do that trip anyway. So that's kind of where we kind of hit, because we you know, we are usually the target audience that the company's trying to get to anyway. So we kind of know what they want to see.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where we pitch ourselves a lot of the time.
In terms of other projects alongside Dream Beach, or maybe as a bit of a subsidiary, I've seen the Palm Band that you guys do. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
So that's like a bit of a side project, side hustle.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there anything that has been tried other than that as well that hasn't worked, or that you've decided to leave alone, or is it always been the Palm Band and that's just something you've been growing?
We've done loads. We've done loads of different things, to be honest. We set up I think it's still going. We set up a sunglasses company with our business partners in Sweden, who were also our business partners for the Palm Band. They're kind of like our business mentors as well. They're a little bit older than us, and they're in this sort of design game and fashion design game, and they're doing really well at it. So we saw the opportunity to go 25% on all these companies, and then we'd work as the creative side and the production side, and then we'd merge together and hopefully form these companies. But we set up a company called Volt, which is quite a luxury sunglasses company. That went really well on Kickstarter. I think we raised maybe $30,000 on Kickstarter, which was really good. And then that went into production, and now I don't know how well they're selling, to be honest, but I know we sold quite a lot of them. And we also tried to set up a few other things. I think we tried to set up like a yoga brunch event in New York, and the logistics fell through for that. And then,
the shit we take on.
What were we thinking?
We'll definitely be able to do that. It's like a whole company in itself. It's like, nah, you just don't.
Yeah.
You just don't.
We think we just like to try everything.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, we like to try everything, and then we both realise we only have 24 hours in the day, and then we neglect the thing we're really needing to put the effort into, which is this, what we're talking about now. So yeah, don't try everything, but try everything is my advice.
I think that's great advice. We might just take that out and
don't try everything, but try it.
But try everything.
Absolutely. In terms of something a little bit more, again, filmmaking related, I am intrigued to know what your kit list looks like. Obviously not every single piece. Do you hire a lot of the stuff depending on what you might need for the project, or do you own a lot of it?
Yeah, well, luckily, we obviously have like a kit list. We always travel with stuff that I can depend on, and that's all Lumix gear, thankfully. But when bigger projects come in, we can either hire Lumix's broadcast cameras and stuff like that for free because of that hookup, which is great. Or if we're abroad, we will hire cameras if needs be. But we travel with Lumix S1, 2 S1s, 3 lenses, a GH5 underwater housing, and a Canon EOS R for stills, and a drone.
I imagine the insurance on sort of travelling with that amount of kit is...
Yeah, for sure. You just got to cover yourselves, because I mean we've had stuff, we've lost stuff, we've left stuff, we've had stuff stolen. So like it's just, you know, for the amount.
What, you've had stuff stolen
abroad? We've lost lenses, drones, Ronin.
Is that through break-ins, or is that just
clumsy, careless? It's all. I'm keeping very down low about it because it's all mine.
Just blame Alex. Just blame Alex.
Oh, is that
it's all Alex's fault?
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, I mean, he did frame himself as the creative from the group, so it sure
Exactly.
Sure is.
I just carry a Mac in my backpack, and I'm like, come on, Alex, don't forget all your stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And in terms of sort of social media marketing versus the whole filmmaking side of things, as we were talked on it earlier, working with brands and stuff is quite big. Is it quite a fine line with how your shoots are managed? So is it very run and gun, or are you going in with shot lists and scripts and, you know, doing things to the T, or is it, okay, this looks like a nice shot, this looks a nice shot, very run and gun? How does it work?
It's kind
Where's
of
the line?
half and half, really. It depends a lot on the on the budgets, obviously for the client. Because we charge planning days if we want to get it right, and the budget's big, we will be shortlisting and planning and doing everything to the T, like you said. But if it's not, and it's a last minute project and there's no time for planning, or there isn't budget, but we want to do the project anyway because it's passion, we'll just run and gun and think of ideas on the spot, or we have a certain shot lists for scenarios anyway that we're kind of religious to, which is kind of grown our little repertoire as we've been. So it's half and half, I would say, but we definitely enjoy the planning quite a lot.
So earlier on when we spoke about the band that you were in when you were younger, we'd like to know a bit more about what went wrong with the Justin Bieber tour.
Oh, all right. I'm not sure what I can say about this sort of stuff. So, Alex,
we were in like sort of pitches with managers and booking agents and stuff to get. We basically, the next level up for us as a band was to get a big tour and like piggyback on someone's already big following. Yeah. And it doesn't get any bigger than a tour like that for us at that time. So we
did a lot of showcases, didn't we, for
people who what was that guy's name? Who's that?
I don't know, but it was something to do with
Scooter.
Bieber's like, well, it wasn't Scooter. It wasn't Scooter's management company, but he was like friends with a friend who was Bieber's manager's friend, something like that. And he had direct contact with them, and we showcased for them, and it went really well. So obviously, our brains went bang because he mentioned this name and mentioned the opportunity. We must have gone through 2 months of back and forth emails. Everything looked so promising, and it was like maybe 75%, 80% there. And as it was getting closer and closer, it eventually fell through because we didn't have the funds to pay onto the tour.
A band called Mike Lowry or whatever, M-I-C Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
They like doubled
whatever they're called.
Spend.
So I imagine at that level, it gets incredibly expensive to fund things.
This band with a massive like label fund just went bunk and like just bought onto the tour for an absolute fortune.
You went on tour for a bit with the Vamps, didn't you?
Yeah, so that was the one we did following that.
Was the costs to that as well quite astronomical, or was it not?
No. Really? It was we're good. We knew their manager from a long time back, so that was much easier contact.
Fantastic. And how was it doing something like that?
Oh man!
Think of everything you've ever imagined happening on a movie, on a movie, on a tour, on anything mental.
I imagine there's maybe stories that we can't even hear.
That's
about.
right, for sure.
That's very true. Very true.
We'll leave that.
It was like just like 5 kids making noise, like as just having fun. And then when we're all on a stage like that, it was just absolutely mental. Like we were just.
Yeah. What we always say is like, obviously myself and Alex played in a band, well, I guess the same sort of band, from like such a young age, playing our village hall in the village to like maybe 10, 15 people, and then we actually went from that to playing the O2 Arena, which is like a dream come true.
Unreal.
So we were happy that things hit that level, and then obviously things simmered out, and we all went our separate ways in a happy way. So no regrets really.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah, exactly. Mate.
Yeah. So, and then what advice would you give to someone looking to start their own business? How to grow it? Any tips or anything like that?
So obviously just going back to Dream Beach Media now and just trying to get some advice for people who might be in a similar situation to you guys 4 years ago.
Tough one.
You go first.
All right. Top tips. I think you have to sacrifice almost everything, and that is friends, family, finances, everything. If you really want to succeed in something, because it will take up every hour of your day, and that every hour will be neglecting other people, and that could be your family or your girlfriend or your friend. And like in the early stages, it will take up everything, and it can be quite upsetting to see that happen. But if your end goal is to do something and achieve something, then it's stepping stones. So it's just I think dedication and a lot of time.
All of these like short-term little sacrifices and stuff are all always worth it if you absolutely love what you do. Like that would be my tip. If you don't love it and like need to wake up every morning and do it, then you're doing the wrong thing. Like if you have to force yourself, then like try something else. I think you just if the passion's there, you'll never feel like you're working, and you will like want to learn all the time. So you'll always be getting better. You'll just be enjoying yourself and educating yourself at the same time, and hopefully growing a business.
Yeah.
I guess it's something else that propped into my mind, and that sort of relates to it, Alex, is was there ever a point in the last 4 years or so where you thought you might have to pack Dream Beach Media in as a full-time thing, go back to a 9 to 5, and what would you do if you weren't doing Dream Beach Media? Is there ever been a point where you've thought that?
We've definitely had occasions where we've realised this is difficult, but we've always been like, we've had setbacks in every scenario, but we've always been so passionate about it that even when we had £0 in the bank and maybe no camera equipment, we always went, it's fine, because we love it and we'll get through it better and more knowledgeable. I think we've definitely had setbacks, haven't we?
Yeah, for sure. I've had a few, but yeah, never seen it really like fun. We've never seen ourselves not on this like ladder,
Sure.
Like we've always
it's always been plan A.
Even if we get knocked down a few pegs, like we're never not on the ladder, like, so we never really think about doing anything else, do we? Ever?
No, never.
I think I heard something once, and it was, if you really enjoy doing something, make it plan A, and never have a plan B. If plan A doesn't work, do plan A
exactly.
again. And I think that really applies to you guys. It's cool to see.
I like that.
Exactly,
cool.
man,
That's
for
cool.
sure. Yeah,
it's good, isn't it?
And that goes back to the thing.
True.
If you love it, you're never gonna look for the next, the plan B. Like you'll just have to do plan A because you're obsessed and you just need to do it.
Yeah,
of course.
And if you love it, you'll get up at 6 a.m. every day and you'll be happy. You won't be going, I want to spend time in bed, or I want to take today off work. You'll be happy and you'll just do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you're away on shoots and in all these nice countries, do you get much free time from when you're shooting, and what do you do with that spare time?
I mean, a lot of the time we either go early if we can to these like places, or late. Usually, I mean, both if we can. So we get there early, and then like we'll meet like extras or stuff like that on the ground, and we'll just kind of have a scout around. Or if it's at the end, we'll mainly use that time to like edit and like do late night edits. But in the day, we'll kind of go out and we'll try to do like I mean, when we're together, we work out a bit, don't we?
We pretty much we like to socialize, obviously, and we do have after the let's say the project ends, we will like go and have a few nights out and just experience the culture. But we're really into our sports, so we'd always try and do some extreme sports, but like maybe mountain biking and surfing or scuba diving. We do love scuba diving.
So to be honest with you,
in a way, we kind of treat
we'll just have a beer.
always have a beer and that's it. Yeah. We enjoy, like, when we are on project days, like we recently were in Finland for 4-day shoot, I believe, and like that was sunrise to sunset, like, and it was just constant. Like we were shattered after each day, but the next day you still have to wake everyone up at 5:30 a.m. and be like, right, let's go again, and then
I guess it comes back to that point of if you're happy,
we're happy,
to do that.
Luckily the schedules sort of tie in with us seeing the local area, and because if we go to a place like Finland, we want to shoot all the like unique locations and sports and sightseeing places, so like we get to see all those when we're doing it. So like when we finish, we just kind of want to have a beer and just chill, man.
Yeah, that's true. And like
of course.
We do see everything anyway. We're very lucky that when we are shooting, we are doing the activities that we'd want to do in our day off, if that makes sense. So we are already skiing or surfing or going somewhere, which we'd love to go if we weren't working on it. So yeah, we're very grateful for that to happen in the job.
I want to just take it back to earlier on when we were talking about when you guys got started, and you made the film in Bali, which sort of really set you off and got you motivated for it. Was there ever any issues with funding those trips? Was it just something you did through working and saving, or was it getting contracts with clients who then paid for shoots and trips abroad?
I mean,
definitely the first job.
To start with, we were just working weekends, really, weren't we, mate? And like trying to collect money, and then half of it or the majority of it would go into like funding the music, because we wanted to be like successful with our best mates mainly at the time of starting off. We wanted to like do the music, and then anything we had like left over, if we couldn't land a job abroad, like a small job that would just pay our expenses at the time, we would use the money to put some fuel in the car and like drive up to the Lake District, or like we would go to Scotland or the South Coast. We would just try the stuff that's more accessible to us that we could afford at that time.
Yeah, exactly. And like our excitement was always just to get away from our sort of bubble around where we live. So if we were going anywhere, we'd just be so excited, and we'd book a travel lodge, we'd book an Airbnb for a few nights, and we'd just literally just have fun. We go, like I said, go hiking, go mountain biking, and just get away from the norm. And it always really made us feel good to do that. And that's what.
I guess you can do anything on a shoestring budget, can't you?
Exactly.
There's so much natural beauty around where we're from.
Exactly.
It's great.
And that really just sparked our love for what we do now. I guess them little jobs.
So that was the start. What's the end goal? What is the long-term vision? I mean, say 10, 15, 20 years time, where do you both want to be? Where do you want to see Dream Beats Media? It's a big question, but...
What can I say?
Like we do.
Is there things you want to do?
Yeah,
is there things you want to achieve? You've done a lot.
We
already.
obviously like want to keep aspiring and growing and stuff.
Definitely.
We obviously, like Josh said before in the first section, like we do pinch ourselves still every day, and we're just like, if I'm still doing this, it'll be great. But as far as like a business goes, obviously we want to grow and have more members of our team. I guess like more little versions of me and Josh, I guess, and just being a bit more of managing projects.
Yeah.
I want to get.
We just want to. After you.
I want to get a little bit more into like the music scene again, a little. I think as like on a creative side, like music videos and tour videos, things like that.
Yeah.
As well as obviously the travel stuff. I love that more than anything. But just a bit of an itch for music again. I think for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we just want to set up grow as obviously as individuals, but grow our company as what we are now, and it'll just be fun. There won't be any like you're in the office 9 to 5. It'll be like, where in the world are you? This edit needs doing. Like that's the mentality we want. We want everyone just to have fun, and if that means we have an office or we don't have an office, so what? Like we've had offices in the past and it hasn't worked for us, but we might have it in the future. But we just want to have a good time and everyone else to sort of vibe off our good vibes as well.
Sure. What's one country in the world that you both want to visit that you haven't?
Ooh. It's 2
Japan.
for me. Yours is Japan, isn't it? Mine's Norway and Hawaii.
Fantastic. It's good choices. Right, we are going to finish off, lads, with some quick fire questions.
Cool.
Just to sort of test your quick
Let's do it.
responses, I guess.
Fantastic.
Okay, so kick us off, Greg.
Favourite sport?
Football.
Oh my god.
What
Snowboarding.
What are you
Snowboarding.
saying, Alex? Snowboarding, nice. PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Favourite game?
FIFA.
Battlefield.
Your favourite actor?
Will Smith.
DiCaprio.
Favourite film?
Interstellar.
Revenant.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram. Has to be.
Religion.
He's uploading as we speak.
Get those drafts up, boy.
Actually, I'm surprised.
Oh man.
Sun or snow?
Sun.
Home or away?
Away.
Away.
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside. All day.
And finally, Josh or Alex?
Josh.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said it there.
Get it.
Put the
Well,
phone down.
thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. You've been fantastic guests. Thank you for being the first guests on the Take 5 podcast.
Awesome.
We hope to see you again in person next time.
I'm sure, man.
Hopefully.
Soon.
We can get in the studio. And thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having us, mate. It's a pleasure to chat to you
See you guys later.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
See you later.